Yo, Bish Bash Bosh here, and welcome to episode 3 of Who the Civ. Today we'll be taking a little look at who the Civ is she. It's Queen Tomyris. Scythia makes its debut appearance in Civilization 6, being led by the formidable Queen Tomyris of the Mesegete. The Scythians were a nomadic people and lived in the area known as Scythia from around the 11th century BC to the 2nd century AD. It was not an empire similar to that of the Romans, as Scythians generally refers to the nomadic tribes ranging from Eastern Europe around the Black Sea in modern-day Ukraine, who are often called the Royal Scyths, to the tribes as far east as the Central Asian and Eastern steppes, with groups such as the Mesegete, who are often referred to as the SAKA. Now, the Scythians were a people who were greatly feared and respected for their competency in war and also their fairly advanced culture. They were adept horsemen and in particular had mastered the skill of horse archery in the same way that Attila's Huns and the Mongols would in the future. At their peak they controlled most of the steppe area. In Civilization 6, Scythia has the ability People of the Steppe, which means they receive a 2nd light cavalry or SAKA horse archer each time they train a light cavalry unit or a SAKA horse archer. This is to reflect the Scythians' extensive use of cavalry. They were renowned for their horsemanship and fielded much larger cavalry forces than contemporary nations. They lived close to the land, and this is reflected in their art, and they had a much closer relationship with their animals than civilizations such as the Greeks. They lived a nomadic life on the steppe. Now the steppe is actually the land in which the Scythians lived, and it's characterized by wide, expansive grasslands without trees or shrubs or bushes, apart from near rivers and lakes. Scythia has a unique unit, SAKA Horse Archer. Now this is one of the incredible skills Scythian warriors had, which allowed them to fire from horseback, which was unheard of in the Western world. This gave them a great advantage as they harassed and attacked nations without this tactic. These troops were well armoured with scale armour, which was made from small plates of iron and bronze overlapping each other. Now unique to Scythians, about 20% of females found in graves were actually dressed for war, so a lot of the females in the population actually fought, and it's possible that this is where the Greek tales of Amazons came from. Scythia is led by the fearsome warrior Queen Tomyris, who has the leader bonus of Killer of Cyrus, which means all units receive +5 combat strength when attacking wounded units, and when they eliminate a unit they heal up to 50 hit points. She also has the leader agenda, Backstabberverse, which means she dislikes civilizations who make surprise declarations of war. These are all in reference to her actions against Cyrus the Great. Now Tomyris was the queen of the Mesegete, a Scythian tribal confederation of Central Asia just east of the Caspian Sea. Cyrus the Great of the Achaemenid Empire wanted to expand into these lands, and after Tomyris refused his marriage proposal, he launched an invasion. Cyrus began building bridges and boats in order to cross the river Jaxartes that separated their lands. Tomyris warned him to cease this, and when he did not, challenged him to meet on either Cyrus's or her side of the river to meet her forces in pitched battle. Cyrus accepted this, but he ignored the challenge and crossed the river Jaxartes anyway. He set up a camp, leaving plenty of wine and only a few of his least capable soldiers as a trap. Tomyris' son, Sparjapices, led an attack on the camp with 1/3 of their forces, killed the troops there, and then finding the camp stocked with wine, they dragged themselves into a drunken stupor. However, Cyrus then returned and overwhelmed the defenders in a surprise attack. And see, the Scythians were not familiar with wine. Their favourite intoxicants were hashish and fermented mare's milk. Many were killed and the rest taken prisoner, including Tomyris' son. Tomyris was infuriated by this underhand move by Cyrus and sent a message to him, denouncing him for using poison to do his fighting for him. She demanded the release of her son and for Cyrus to retreat, ending the message with, "I swear by the sun, the sovereign lord of the Mesegete, bloodthirsty as you are, I will give you your fill of blood." Cyrus ignored this message, and her son then committed suicide whilst held captive. Tomyris then personally led her forces into battle and defeated Cyrus, who was killed. After the battle, Tomyris filled a wineskin with human blood and ordered Cyrus's lifeless corpse brought to her. Cutting off his head and stuffing it into the wine sack, she proclaimed, "See now, I fulfill my threats, you have your fill of blood." And the famous Greek historian Herodotus called this battle more violent than any others fought between foreign nations. Scythia has the unique tile improvement of the kurgan, which cannot be built on hills and gives +1 faith, +1 gold, and an extra +1 faith for each adjacent pasture. Kurgans are burial mounds heaped over a burial chamber, which is often made of wood, and they will be larger the more important the person was during life. These dated back to far before the Scythians and were an ancient tradition. The base of these kurgans could reach 500 meters, which is about 1600 feet, in Siberia, where it is believed the Scythian people originated. Scythian kurgans are notable for the Scythians' jewellery and decorated objects that were often made of gold. This was mainly from the 7th to 3rd centuries BC, however, as after this they became more and more displaced by the Sarmatians. So, Scythia is a very powerful early game civilization, and just as they were in history, they can use their mass cavalry to win the day, and the Kurgan can benefit them with an early pantheon to aid them in their wars. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Who the Civ. Of course, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, and subscribe if you're new here. Just leave me a comment of who I should do next. So yeah, cheers, bye.